Hello everyone, and welcome to a special sort of one-shot edition of Eat, Crit and Survive, where a bunch of people gather in different locations to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Now this is episode 101, but for reasons that we're not entirely certain of, the audio wasn't captured when we did the live episode, so we're going to have to pick this up some other way to make sure that you guys know what's going on. Luckily, because it was a combat-only episode, Connor made some notes about things that were going on, sort of narrated the story for us. So I am going to read his notes to you. Now, bear in mind, this is read from the perspective of Asher/Connor, so we'll see how it goes. Where we last left off, the Wandering Stars have been travelling through the Feywild looking for an ancient beast under Artemis's control that had been set up for Lirale's hunt to be made one of the leading members of the Orionids. Where we pick up, they had just been entering into a battle. Lirale approaches her beast from the shadows of a nearby icicle, spotted only by the gods. She downs a healing potion, restoring up to half her health, the crazy bitch, leaping into the ethereal plane, hasting herself, moving at incredible speed under the belly of the mythical beast testicular Stag. As she draws her weapon, the beast turns, as if the TM would ever let her do anything any other way. She slashes down once into the gut, but the beast looks down with a face of disgust and smiles. Welcome, challenger. Game on. It kicks Lirale in the jaw in response before wildly missing with its horns. All the while, the party discusses how well this is going about 60 feet away, blissfully unaware of the intense battle raging in the distance. Galata, being the most wisdomful of them all, gets struck with a blast from the moon kites that are flying around, as does Cedric, and finally Foundling. Truly, this was the beast's first mistake. Foundling tries to catch the magical blast before realising it's not a physical object. Before the moon kites could strike Leela, and finally they missed Asher, much to the shock of the players, Asher having the lowest armor class. Lyra once again steps up to the plate, confidently, unshaken. She slashes 3 times, dealing a surprisingly average amount of damage. It's a bloody resistant beast indeed. Hits, hits, hits! Fantastic form from the elf. The beast activates one of its bullshit abilities, reminding the players, it ain't no bitch, and has wings, blowing Lirale back 20 feet whilst looking majestic as fuck. The Moonkite takes another round of shot at the party, who are yet to move as they are stunned in awe of Lirale's boldness. Also a surprise round of initiative. Foundling now springs into action, moving like a crab on coke, the snow hindering them in only slightly problematic, as they throw up their multiple arms in an attempt to throw off the enemy, like a butterfly to a predator, ending the turn by healing themselves. Kalatar, being both blind and charismatic, resorts to his signature move of Eldritch Blast, a truly original move, striking each of the kites and then also taking a healing potion because at this point, does money even matter? The Stag majestically runs over Lirale's body and misses almost every attack, thankfully. The environment also gets a turn, but sadly misses Foundling. Sad. Cedric will not cast Moonbeam, but will cast Chill Touch, which neither chills nor requires touch missing. But it's in the spell, and quite frankly, he ends his action with a spiritual weapon. A real spell. Asher's turn is amazing. She summons forth her winged Pegasus and puts lightning on her massive sword in true paladin style. Yep, that's all. That's it. Leela uses her turn, putting her tiny little legs to work, running towards the battle whilst trying to understand the battle map. She casts Fly upon herself, putting herself into harm's way because she's a strong, independent goblin who don't need no god moves. Blasting away with Scorching Ray at the moon kites, she flies there and paints a target on herself. Kafina, all alone at the party, questions the battle map before jogging up through the snowpath and casting a hypnotic pattern on the group. They all pass, much to the joy of the Dungeon Master, who smiles. The God Moose now kicks out with its extra action economy, knocking out Lirale, who now must make a death save. Failing this puts her in a tricky spot indeed. The kites see the angry paladin on horseback and take dislike to such a bold move and proceed to push Asher's shit. Tank life. Lyra, whilst unconscious, voices her disapproval of the party. The party nods in approval, for the bullshit is showing. Kalatar painfully can't heal Lirelare because of the snow, and sadly must do something else, but missed it. The moose runs away while showing its disapproval to flying things such as Leela and her drones, sending them crashing to Earth like the Twin Towers. Really, Connor? Really? Cedric, in seeing this, attempts to get within 60 feet of Lyra to heal his much-beloved friend, healing her from the brink of death. Connor brilliantly reminds Matt that Cedric does maximum damage, and not the abysmal amount that he was rolling. Thanks, Connor. Asher flies down and lays her totally awesome hands on Lyra, giving her an injection of godly might, otherwise known as the good shit, before fucking off and attempting to throw all the kites away from Lyra, for she's the only important one here right now. Leela fires off another scorching ray through the snow and ice at the kites, truly doing their job, making the party forget about the true goal of the hunt. Kafina is struggling with the environment and abuses her extreme range spells to make the weather even worse for the red kite. Lyra, with her new life, returns to the hunt, marking the moose for death at some point this evening before walking over towards Foundling. The bloody kites are back again, attempting to knock out Kalatar, and they're probably successful. The Pegasus gets fucked up, but the Dungeon Master doesn't know, thankfully, just how bad it is. The other kite moves over to slap Kafina. Sorry, Fee. Foundling brushes the God Moose, using all of their arms, moving violently into a held action. Being horned only spurs them on. Being closer to death than they would have wanted, Foundling hits back with some huge numbers. Poison definitely working, just the magic that we needed. Kalatar heals the party before then blasting the Moon Moose, unsure of its going to kill before remembering that Lyra has to be the one that deals the cutting blow. Dude, come on. The God Moose charges Kalatar and Foundling, knocking them both unconscious in a real power play in Connor's opinion, before knocking Cedric back to Elendor as a final move to establish their dominance. The environment, not content with the situation, strikes Asher and her Pegasus. This time, the DM asks how Pegasus is doing. He's onto us. Our time is near. Sorry, horse. Cedric chill touches the moose by neither chilling or touching it. God, I hate that spell. Snow isn't ground. Who knew? Well played, DM. Well played. For those of you who don't understand that, Cedric's ability gets him heal when he is touching the ground. Unfortunately, because Cedric is not touching ground, only snow, he falls unconscious. But Asher heals everyone. Isn't that a novel thing? The moose responds by blowing up everyone. Asher is displeased, knocking Kalatar and Cedric out again, and fucking up the drones in the meantime. Things are looking a little grim. Please, Lyra, kill the moose. Leela uses aid very creatively, bringing Lyra, Foundling, and Cedric back up. GG, girl. GG. Fee blows up everything to bolster her defences and keeping the kites distracted. Lyra, using her bonus action to dash into combat, slashes her moonblade twice in the hope that the party behind it, hacking in, dealing good damage, but the moose still stands. The last two moonkites pick out Kafina to ambush as she presents a deadly threat now. Moving on to my bloody Pegasus. 5 hit points and a dream. Keep going, buddy. Foundling leaps into battle, declaring non-lethal damage. Clever crab punching the god out of this moose. It still stands, but looks somewhat bothered. Kalatar, heavily injured, contemplates life mid-battle, scared to move in for fear of the horns, and attempts to blast the shit out of the stag and the kite, splitting damage for fear of killing Moosey Boy, before healing the Pegasus for 10. Thank the Lord. May live through this. The God Moose turns on Lyra, glaring, smacking with the horns and simultaneously kicking Foundling in the face, bringing them dangerously close to death once more. It unveils its mighty wings and sends the majority of the party crashing to the ground. I really think that they've been prone for the entirety of this fight. Asher, the healer once more, reads for the second time in her life a magical scroll to heal the party back up off the floor, reviving her noble steeds to reasonable levels. Leela doubles down on the healing, giving the party a further pick-me-up with her nanotechnology. Lyra swings confidently with the Moonblade, scoring a critical hit. Fuck you, Moose! She doesn't scream. 50 points, dealt to the beast, dropping it dead spectacularly. Foundling catches the head as it dissolves into silvery dust. A truly epic win for the team. And that's pretty much what happened. There was a little bit afterwards where the wandering hunt came across and declared that they were allies of the party and we're not going to fuck them up in this time, which some of the people were worried about. And then Gundam came along and they teleported out. But the outcome of that is picked up in episode 102 of Eat, Crit and Survive, available on YouTube, coming soon. And if you want to check out more of our adventures, check out at Eat, Crit, Survive on Twitter and Eat, Crit, Survive on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, guys. Goodbye.